Okay. Right. Welcome back, guys. I know you're already in a classroom, but it's nice to say welcome back. Yes. We are going to talk about task 1 for the unit BSBLDR411, demonstrate leadership in the workplace. Okay. This is task 1 of 4. Is a knowledge question as always. Okay. Please sign this student signature where you are declaring this is all your work. If others' work has been used, you appropriately reference them and paraphrase everything that you are using. Okay. Right. That's my part. That's all right. Okay, this is some general instruction. This task requires you to demonstrate the skills and knowledge requirement to lead teams and individuals by modeling high standard of conduct to reflect organization standard and value. Okay. All answers are short. That means 2 to 4 sentences somewhere or 5 sentences in some instance. Yeah. Okay, the deadline. Deadline. Who can tell me what is a deadline? Who can tell me what is the deadline? Is anyone aware of the deadline? Sorry. No, I was just asking about the deadline. Can anyone guess?
First week of October.
October? No, I won't ask you again, Harissa. Okay. 2, 3,
28?
27.
I would say 28. Yes, that's right. 28 of 082022 for this unit. For the next one is 4th of September. Yeah, 2808. So before we meet, you got, okay, so if you treat this as a week 1, we are meeting back in week 5. So end of week 3 is your this unit, end of week 4 is your next unit. Yeah, that's how we always structured it. Right. This is all standard, nothing new here. Everything is good. Everything is good. Yes, insert your details and sign the declaration. Review the marking criteria. Now I will share the marking criteria with you. Let me just open that to ensure it's the right document. Wow. Okay. No, I will share the marking criteria, okay, in a bit. I think I don't have the right document, maybe. Okay, that's fine. It will be shared with you guys, so don't worry. Submission requirement, that's everything is fine. Right. Question number 1, I'll just remove the white space. There we go. What are the 3 examples of method to identify stated organization standard and value? How do you identify? Right? So it can be shared from the organization or the manager, number 1. Right? For example, if Johnson is new to the workplace, his manager, Simon, right? Or his leader or his hierarchical manager would tell him that, Johnson, this is what is expected. These are the values that you must adhere to. This is a standard. Anything lower than that is not acceptable. You need to mean, like I just said, right? That you need to aim for at least 2 to 4, 3 to 5 sentences. If you write just 1-line sentence as a response, no, it's not sufficient, right? So what is a stated standard and values can be inherited from your manager, can be explained when you are doing the induction. Yeah. It could be from code of conduct, any standard practice, standard operation process, right? Any staff handbook, right? Or any intranet resources, It can be from the owner, the board of director. So these are some of the sources who can help you in identifying the standard and a value. Yeah, make sense? Okay. What happened to John William? Is he out of? Oh, okay, it's back. Okay. Right. Question 2. What are 3 examples of method to identify unstated? So this was all stated. So, it's been narrated, unstated, right? Whatever is not being said, how would you opt for it? How would you get that information? Any idea? Any clue? I'll give you a hint. What is a communication method between a child who doesn't speak, doesn't understand, and father or mother? Observation. They observe it, isn't it? Yeah, they observe you. Whatever you are doing, they will do the same thing. Unstated standard and values. If you steal, then they will learn the message. Oh, stealing is fine. Yeah, I know everyone will take a bath and maintain the hygiene, but if you don't, they'll say, oh, not bathing is fine. Brushing, for example. So observing other leader or manager, number 1. Yeah, listen to the manager, hear their story. It's unstated thing, right? How staff interact with one another. If everyone is bitching about other person, then that's the culture you are setting. And you are telling the junior members, the new members, that it's all right to say negative of another person in the workplace. Yeah. Anything that you follow from peers, leaders, managers, observing, listening to their story will be some of the unstated organization standard and values. Yeah? Right. Complete the table below, providing information about organization value, expectation of behavior. So, define organization value. What is organization value? The value are the common attributes that an organization follow, the basic principle, right? And it applies to how they are doing the business, isn't it? Yeah, that's the value. Yeah. Explain where the values come from. It comes from the senior manager, the board of director, and overall business leaders. Yeah. What is the role of values? Anyone? Role of the values? They are guiding tool, isn't it? They will guide you. If one of the values is integrity, you have to follow it. You cannot do something which is not with full integrity. Like, for example, we just saw in that video from Jeremy King, where he's talking about opposite of lie. It's how you do things, right? So if you're not doing it right, yeah, you're not doing with integrity, that you are not following your organization value, right? So it's a guiding tool. Whatever actions you do should be from the organization's value. You must adhere to it all the time. Yeah? 3 examples of behavioral expectation that are often contained within a code of conduct. Often contained, like the basic thing that always comes with it. Integrity, honesty, trust, promoting diversity, respecting the leadership, right? Treating others fairly, all that thing. That's a basic thing. It doesn't matter which organization you work with, these are always a part of code of conduct, like anti-bullying, anti-harassment, right? Treat everyone fairly, all that thing. So if you read code of conduct, someone will have one more insist on one or the other, but these are the basic thing that you always find in code of conduct. Sounds good? 3 question, any doubt? Is good?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
Question.
Okay. Yes, I just need 1 or 2 yes. Okay. See, this is a long assessment. What I must do in between, sorry, is to share you this. Okay, this book, the learner's guide. Just shared in a chat. Okay, that will help you. So the way I would tell you guys to do the work from now is go through the PPT first, then go through the learner's guide, and then read the recording, then view the recording. So you need time for that, and that's what I'm trying to do, trying to give you some time. Yeah, okay. And like I warned you in the beginning, this is a bit challenging, bit demanding. Not challenging, bit demanding. You need to really have a plan to work on this task. Yeah, okay. Complete the table below by providing a brief overview of the listed leadership theory. So number 1, great man theory. What is it? He's a great man theory. So I'm going to explain something. That's fine. You can rewrite in your words. No need to write it because again, the recording will be shared. Even if you try to write it, it can really not follow. Okay. That's fine. I was thinking about something, but it won't work with you guys now. Not now. Okay. It's about auto dictation. But since you have a headphone on, it wouldn't work. If it was a normal speaker, it might work. Yeah. Right. Great man theory. So what is it? This theory centers around the belief that great leaders are not made, they are born with. Like leadership that you are born with. You can't cultivate that thing. This is what theory says, right? So it's like it's in your genes, right? And if you are a leader, then your kids will be bound to be good leader as well. No? So it pass on from genes to genes. Yeah. So that's about great man theory. Let me see if I can find more information about great man theory. Okay. Like I said it to Peter once. Yeah. If someone knows everything after God is Mr. Google. Yeah. I just type in great man theory in Google and here comes the article. What it says, the great man theory of leadership states that some people are born with the necessary attributes that set them apart from the others. Yeah. And this trait are responsible for their assuming position of power and authority. A leader is a hero who accomplishes goals against the odd of his follower. Yeah, odd for his follower. That's what great man theory is. Okay. Next is a trait theory. This theory proposes there are certain traits required for someone to be a good leader. Again, you just type in trait theory, you know, and Google will give you good information. I'm not doing for all of them, I'm just showing you a way of reading more about it. Yeah. Right. Trait theory. So again, as it says here, the trait theory personally suggests that people have certain basic traits, and it's the strength and intensity of that trait that account for personality differences. Right. So you need certain traits to be a good leader. Right. If you show enough of it, then you are a good leader, otherwise not. So for example, one of the trait of leader that we saw in the slide was they should be empathetic, caring for people, show good code of conduct, work with integrity, open communication, people's person, and kind of thing, right? If you show most of it, then you are a good leader. But just imagine a scenario when you are not working with integrity, when you are not good in communication, you don't care for people. Will you be classified as a good leader? The simple answer is no, as per the trait theory, right? Then we got behavioral theory. So what is it? This theory suggests that the way a person behaves as opposed to their innate quality is what determines their ability to lead. So how you behave in certain situation. It says individual assumes certain behavior when faced with various circumstances, and these choices determine their leadership potential and result. If a person repeats effective lead behavior in a similar situation, then the leadership should be effective as well. Right. So that was all about behavioral theory, right? Transactional leadership theory. We also seen that in that YouTube video. Yeah, so I'm not talking about that anymore. Transformational transaction, that was being compared. Contingency theory. Also known as a situation leadership, right? Based on a situation, how efficient you are. Again, it's a bit overlapping with the behavior theory, but it's more like a backup or contingency thing. It suggests that some people can be great leader in some circumstances, but not in others. Someone really like to work with pressure. Seeing people, this, oh, you put more pressure on me and I'll be great. Yeah, I like to follow the KPI, I like to follow the deadline. Yeah, and that's with most of us, isn't it? I got 9 in the classroom, right? Trust me, I get maximum submission on a Sunday before we meet, isn't it? Maximum submission. Yeah, which gives me very little time to react to those, but we know it. Why? Because we are meeting back, and you don't want, knowingly, unknowingly, to miss the deadline, or I calling up your name. Hey, so and so, you haven't submitted your work. There could be various trigger for it. But even though we had 3 or 4 weeks, the majority of us work in that area towards the end. That is me as well, right? I'm changing. I'm not saying like I'm like that 100%, right? But that's how we are. So we are very good in one situation over the other. Yeah, again, read more about it, write more about it. Yeah. Next, briefly describe autocratic leadership style and explain one advantage and disadvantage of this style. So the file that I shared, the learner's guide. Yeah. You know how to read from it? Okay, let me go and okay, so say for example, this is a book, the learner's guide that I shared with you, right? And you go to the question. What is a question? Autocratic. You copy that word, autocratic. Go to learner's guide. You can go edit and find from here, from the edit menu, or do Control F. It will pop up a window on the top. Type that word, hit enter. It will pick up all the words with autocratic. And then you can decide leadership style autocratic, others what to do, right? In an emergency situation. Okay. Then you read more about leadership autocratic or laissez-faire video, right? Then you keep going next. Keep hitting enter or keep going next, and it will talk you, right? There are 2 primary approach, authority decision making. Leadership style. One person, generally a leader, manager, is entirely responsible, and it talks about it, right? And there's some source about it, some advantages, disadvantage. You click on that link, and you will be reading further more about the this type of leadership style. Yeah, this is how you use the resources. Again, I go back to that. Yeah, we have covered that. I'm not talking about autocratic, lazy, ferocious, or bureaucratic. Yeah, bureaucratic, as the name suggests, like follow this, follow that, follow policy and procedure. Just because there is a policy, I can't help you. You're not going beyond the policy structure. As bureaucratic. Yeah, it's a good thing because the policy and procedure will save you from most of the trouble, right? But not good when you have to accommodate to some changes or work on a different situation. Yeah, again, bureaucratic leadership. Next is democratic leadership, and it's two positive aspects. We have talked about demonstrating leadership as well. Is the most efficient leadership style in many of the situation, reflect on a larger one, engages with their follower before the decision. So I'm asking you guys, hey, what do you think of this? I take your input before I make the decisions. Yeah, this kind of leadership style. Okay, any question, comments? We have covered 8 so far. Is everything good? Yeah. Right. Consider the following scenario. Explain the process that should be followed for raising question and concern about standard and values. You should refer to relevant policy procedure from righteous bin when responding to each scenario. The righteous bin policy and procedure aids given at the end of this thing: code of conduct, grievance procedure, mission vision, continuous improvement policy procedure. So you just click on that. Oops, maybe I didn't open it. Link. No, I forgot. I mean, you should be able to open it. Maybe I didn't update it that. Yeah. If not, just let me know and I'll send you the separate file. Yeah, when you are doing from My Village. Right. So what we are saying, what you are doing is referring to code of conduct. Let me go on My Village and check it. BSBLDR411. Yes, it's there. Employee grievance procedure, code of conduct, mission vision, and continuous improvement. All the 4 attachment that's reflected here, which you will need, is on My Village task 1. Yeah, you just need to grab them. Okay. I'm happy to share the link. So you just enter your login ID password and it should be there. Yeah, for task 1. Okay. So that's all right. Where was I? Okay. A colleague has been behaving in a way that is offensive and a breach of organization's value of code and conduct. What would you do? Explain the process that should be followed for raising question concern. So I wouldn't be discussing this question now. It will be really appropriate that you go through the code of conduct and come up with a solution. right? What would you do? So you'll have to refer to the code of conduct rather than me narrating the answer now. Okay, we can come back to this, no problem. Yeah, anytime you feel that you are ready and you are not finding the right response, then, or you want some comments on what you think it's good, then we can always come back to this. Okay. And same for B, I'll just explain what is it. You are aware that organization has recently started working an overseas coffee supplier who has been known for his child labor practices. You spoke to the staff who established those contracts and were told that the business does not do any investigation about supplier. Decisions are made based on the information provided by the supplier. You are concerned that this attitude violates company's value and would like to raise concern and make suggestions to improve procurement practices. What we are saying here. Okay, before you engage with anyone, that means you are promoting the value, isn't it? Right? If, for example, if Australian Ministry or Department of Foreign Affairs support APTC, that means they respect APTC's culture. Either by sponsorship or by doing business with them, you are directly indirectly supporting what APTC is doing. So what this is saying here is you have an overseas supplier and they are into child labor. So they would employ child, pay them less wages, which is not great. So if you're working or if you're doing business with that, that means knowingly or unknowingly you are supporting those practices. So you are concerned that this is not a right thing. Before you approve any supplier, you need to check what is the credit rating, what is the policy that they support, all that thing. And if you're not doing that, that means you are not doing the due diligence. So you would like to raise some concern. You told that, oh, it's none of our business. We just do the business. We don't see what company's values are, right? And you'd like to raise some concern. Okay. So this is something that you look for continuous improvement. The last policy, continuous improvement policy. Okay. And the first one, you are referring to code of conduct. Where did you go? Question 9. Yeah. Code of conduct. Good. Okay. What are 5 examples of behavior and performance that would typically be considered damaging an organization? Like we had talked about it, but you are just writing them back here. It could be speaking ill of the company, not copying out the promises, lack of integrity, lack of open communication, failure to stick to policy procedure, all that kind of thing. Yeah, inappropriate behavior, inappropriate languages, unacceptable WHS record or incidents, Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so we covered 10 questions. I would stop it here. Okie dokie, so welcome back to this post-lunch session. Prior to going on a break, we had covered up to 10 questions, as you can see. I would like to help anyone if you got any doubts whatsoever with these questions. If not, I'll continue with question 11. Yeah, everyone is good?
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. At least if good for now, that will keep me going. And then always, if you got any question, feel free to, send it back to me or anything that we can discuss as well. Okay. Question 11. Right. Define the concept of organizational value and ethics and explain how this concept interrelate. Right. So you need to read a lot of things in detail before you can explain them. And again, reading the learner's guide will help you. But I can give you a hint or a bit of insight of what this would look like. So you need to define organization's value, number one, and you need to talk about organization's ethics. So value are the principle the standard, the belief that a business holds. Okay, ethics are how the practices in the organization an employee follow. What practice do you follow? Right. So again, values are the principle, the belief, the statement, the standard that a business holds. Ethics are the practices that you follow. Okay. Ethics aimed at achieving the values. Ethics are aimed at achieving the values. And how would you talk more about it? Sorry, where's my file? Where did that file go? That's fine. Sorry, one second. Try and open that file. The numbers guide. So when you open that learner's guide and just do Control F and type ethics, ETHIC, ethics. Yes, standard value and ethics. So it's a section 5 of that guide, learner's guide. Yeah. So principle, business value are the principle. For example, integrity, right? Determination, innovation, respect, fair-mindedness and all that. They are all a part of the values, right? Any common belief and everything, right? Ethics is in everyday life. Business has its own decision based on what is right, what is wrong. That's working with ethics. Yeah. So you need to read a bit. It's, if you wanted to note down, it's on page 56 of the learner's guide. Yeah. And just read that and then, write it in your own words. Right. Question 12, it's elaborating it a bit more. Examples of good ethical behavior. Right. So what is the ethical behavior? For example, it's your responsibility for dumping the waste properly. Right. I had this discussion with when I took one of the professional development session with Solomon and Fiji, staff members, and they were all saying that, okay, this is something that we are working on, but it's not the priority and everything. But just imagine in a hypothetical situation, you know that what is the rubbish and how should you dispose it, isn't it? And someone told me, I think it was Karina, she told me about the Solomon port, Honiara port. They got different recycling bin, like the recycling for the cardboard, for the glass and everything that is recyclable content, right? The papers and everything that can go in a recyclable thing, all the other waste and the green waste as well. Yeah. So that is your ethical behavior of a company. If they are dumping any chemicals in a river, in the ocean, is not good. They need to treat it well, make it chemical free or harm free chemicals before they are dumping or releasing that in a river, isn't it? Yeah, so that's called ethical behavior, right? So environmental responsibility, right? Sourcing of material, fair payment, right? If someone is asking for a payment from a company and they said, oh, come back tomorrow, oh, sorry, we don't have funds, that's not good. That's not ethical behavior. If you have taken goods from someone, you need to, fulfill the payment conditions or pay on a time, right? Loyalty to the customer and supplier, don't change your supplier unless you run into big issues. Respect for one another and any compliance related to material procedure that you follow. So these are all ethical behavior. Okay. Right, complete the table below providing information about value and expectation behavior. Number 1, defining role modeling. What do you mean by role modeling? Role modeling is demonstrating or displaying the required attitude or behavior. If you're a role model, what do you need to do? That's what your role modeling is, right? You need to come on a time, leave on a time, do all the work, don't speak negative. All the role modeling tactics that we say is what is called role modeling. Yeah. What is meant by a workplace role model? Right? So they are the people, they are the employee, the leaders, they are looked upon, right? For any good idea, inspiration, for any encouragement and all that. Yeah, this is called what we mean by role model. Acting or following this is role modeling, and role model, again, let me find that for you. Role model. Yeah, right. We got something on page 60 and many other place. Yeah. You will role model our values, passion, customer, and all that. Then you, like, we got many things for role model. Concept or role modeling. Okay, that page 67, sorry. Role modeling is demonstrating or displaying required attitude and behavior for others to copy. Therefore, role model in a workplace are leader who are looked upon. So you are covering both, but write in your own words. Yeah, never copy from a source and paste it here as it is. You read it, write in your own words. Otherwise, plagiarism, even if you're referring that. Yeah. What influence does a leader's role modeling have on those who are leading? What influence do they have? Any indication? The leader's behavior and performance set the standard for the work culture. Okay? So those who are following a role model, right, they set a benchmark, like I said again, yeah, that coming late, is it fine or not? If not, the role model should always be ahead of time. If your starting time is, for example, 9 o'clock at your office, then you should be there at least 8:45, 8:50. I know everyone has a traffic problem, everyone has a kids drop pickup problem, but just imagine if you had the flights, wouldn't you manage it? Or would you miss your flight? Yeah. If you had a doctor's appointment or dentist appointment, yeah, would you afford to miss it? Yeah. All that. Yeah. So you need to influence a people, employee in a way so your behavior can be mimicked. Yeah. What are the 5 examples of positive role modeling behavior? Punctuality to start with, honesty, fairness, initiativeness, ethical behavior, compliance, proper presentation, respectful, work with integrity, a lot of them. Yeah, it's okay. Again, you can go back to the recording and follow what you might have missed. Yeah, don't worry about capturing all of them now. Now we talk about integrity, and that's why I played that video. I had read it somewhere that it's one of the questions. What is meant by integrity? Yeah. if you follow Jeremy King's definition, integrity is a person who does the right thing, follow the right thing, act the right thing. Yeah, who do not lie, does the right thing. Yeah, just write 2 or 3 sentences for that. What are the attributes that combine to produce integrity? How do you produce integrity? By being honest, do not lie, being accountable for. Is what you mean by integrity. Yeah. Right. We covered 14 questions. Any concern for that? Sorry, I'm literally out of sight, I believe. Yeah, all good, everyone? Sorry, you are on the other screen, so I'm looking there. I'm looking, trying to capture your face. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Good. Okay, okay. We've got 6 more to go. And just imagine you of you are writing this. Okay, give 2 examples that explain the importance of creditability and integrity to you as a work leader. Okay, so if you want your employees to work with integrity, you should work with integrity first of all, right? If you're working with integrity, others will follow you. If you don't lie, it will be hard for others not to follow it. And you can always say it like that. Oh, do I lie to you? Oh, I'm being transparent to you, right? Am I being unfair to you? No. If I have to work for, say, 9 hours, I'm working for 9 hours, right? You have to do the right thing for others to follow, right? So it's ensuring you are fulfilling your commitment, right? Then lead by the example, show the example. It's the amount of work that you do, it's the honesty that you work with, all that thing, right? Is what shows your integrity, credibility, right? Okay, if you look at question 15 and 16, they're kind of the same. Give 2 examples that explain the importance of credibility, integrity to you as a leader, and up here to the organization you work for as a leader. So why does an organization should care about integrity? Okay, so it creates a reputation that once you go to this place, everything is fair, right? Just imagine, I will give a very day-to-day life example. You went for shopping, buying vegetables or fish, because I know most of you might be consuming fish. I don't, but I know most of you would be. So you go to a shop where there's all low-key practice. You know, they give you fish which is not fresh. They give you a fish, it's a 1 kilo, but when you go home, it's only 800 grams, or they charge you more, all that kind of thing. Not an integrity behavior. Versus you go to another shop, irrespective whether you look at the weight scale or not, there's always 1 kg, bit more, but nevertheless, they always charge you the fair amount. And if it is not fresh, they will tell you that I'm giving you because that's the only thing I have, but it's not fresh. Or they just refuse to sell it because it's not fresh. Which one would you prefer? Right? The one who is telling you and being transparent to you, isn't it? That's the same thing goes with an organization. So everyone would like to deal with an organization who is fair in their communication, keep their promises, fair in dealing and businesses, right? Fair price, fair negotiation. And that's why integrity matters from the organization's point of view as well, because it determines your creditability in the society you are serving, right? Same thing could go with RTO, registering organization, or we call it RTC, Rural Training Centers in Solomon, right? There are two RTCs, one doing everything right, other not doing it right. Whom would you prefer to be associated with? Okay, and that's what you are capturing in this. Right. Leadership in an organization refers to three practices used by a person in the business to achieve three outcomes. What are the three outcomes? Number one, positivity influence the thinking and actions in the other. So what are the outcomes you are expecting? Positivity. Follow the lead, follow the leader. Number two, right? That's a common practice, right? Have a best coordination and integration. Have the best transparency. I mean, by transparent, it doesn't mean that you are sharing all the profit loss statement or everyone's salary to every other person. That's not what is required. By transparent in open in your communication. If you make a decision, you tell that why you selected this approach over the other. If you favor someone's idea over the other, being transparent about that. Yeah. Okay, cool. We covered up to 17. Is everything good? If any questions, unmute and say it or leave it in the chat. Yeah, all cool. Again, I'm telling you, this is a longer one, will require time, and that's what I wanted to give you. I don't want to keep interrupting you when you are reading a learner's guide. Okay, it's going a bit fast. Is it, Frank? No? Okay. Now let me know if it is. Yeah, I can slow down. I saw that fast forward. Or do you want me to go faster? Okay. No,
As you wish.
no, I wanted to help you out. Not just in our local language, we have a saying which is hard to explain in English. But if I say it, if you need to complete something, complete and finish is a different word. I completed the job and I finished it off. Finish off in a way that, okay, as soon as it's come, I finish it off. Complete like with all dedication. I mean, it's not the right word that I'm picking, but it's just a different approach. Yeah. So I wanted to do it in a way that I can, it makes sense to you. Not too fast, not too slow. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. So again, like if I were there, what I would do once I finish this, you'll have almost 3 hours or something, 2.5, 3 hours, whatever time you'll be left with. Dedicatedly go through PPT, number one. Okay. Second thing, go through the learner's guide. At least skim through the learner's guide, know what is where. Then go through AT1. Okay. If you just go through AT1 first, then you are looking for the responses, which is not serving the purpose. Yeah. Then you know only the limited knowledge of these 20 questions. That's it, nothing more. And that will not serve the purpose of learning the unit. Yeah. Okay. Right. Hold on. 3 more. Explain what is meant by social influence as it applies to workplace leadership. So, social influence. Okay. Okay. Right. What is social influence? It comes from the other source, from the power. authority that attacks the position, that is attached to a position, right? For example, a person who is in a power, your boss, for example, can tell you what you should do exactly, no plus or minus. This is what you should do. End of discussion, end of story. Yeah. So that's called social influence. So consciously, unconsciously, a leader, a manager is having a greater social influence, which is passed on to the workplace colleague. Yeah, of their vision, of their mission, of whatever values they follow within organization boundary. Yeah. Okay, let me see what I can find for you. I'm just sharing something for everyone to read. Yeah, social influence involve intentional, unintentional efforts to change another person's belief, attitude, behavior. Okay, there are three types of social influence, like utilitarian, value expressive information. There's a lot you can read. Don't go too much in deeper. Like just a few sentences will serve the purpose here. So, what are some characteristics of great leader? They're honest, clear in communication, can cater various communication need, confident, easy to follow, willing to help others, yeah, treat others fairly and respectively. Like just pick up a great leader and look at their skills. We already talked about when we're talking about PPT and concept of this unit. I consider Obama was one of the good leader. I have a good respect for him. And so many others, but it's just one of them. Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama, then Gandhi from India, and many others, national freedom fighter and leader, right? Just pick up one or two of them and see what they were doing. They never lie. They mimic good behavior. They care for the people around them, right? All that kind of thing, right? They are dedicated. They are having a very disciplined, a very good routine. Yeah, and that they put people first, not themselves first. And one last one. What are 5 examples of principle of leadership? Number 1, they lead by example. Lead by example. Focus on a change. Okay, maybe me writing will help. Lead by example. Focus on the change. Promote diversity. Strong values that they believe. Help and support everyone around them. If I justify, I'm just, it is all about the people. Working together. I mean, you can add a lot more. Yeah, just keep on adding more. Okay. Cool. Okay. Like I said, the plan form here is go through the PPT, then the learner's guide, then comes AT1. Okay, this is what you should be doing. Don't need to memorize everything, just make yourself familiar, right? And then start working on them. You've got, like I said, almost 3 hours minus all the breaks you take. Please try to knock off this early, because this week, okay, let me stop the recording.